Welcome to this continuation of the Envision for BACtalk Basics course. In this module, I'll discuss the Alerton product line of control devices for a building automation system. On completion of this module, you'll be able to identify and describe the 4 levels of BACtalk building automation and control system, identify specific Alerton models at each control level, identify the capabilities of global controllers, identify the capabilities of Alerton VisualLogic Controllers. Information I cover in this module in the Envision for BACtalk Control Modules Installation and Operations Guide, and some in the BACtalk System Design Guide. You can get this guide from your Alerton dealer in either print or electronic format. You can also find detailed information on Alerton's website, alerton.com. You've seen the 4 levels in the BACtalk system architecture: the sensor actuator, field controller, integration, and management levels. Before you continue, write down in your notes, from memory if you can, the main functions and types of devices associated with each level. Click play below when you're ready to continue. Starting from the bottom, the sensor actuator level is where the inputs, monitoring point, and outputs, control points, for the control process reside. Alerton manufactures 3 communicating wall sensors, the Microset and the Microset 2, as well as the Microtouch sensor. Field controller level. The devices at the field controller level are Alerton VisualLogic Controllers, VLCs, and the viewport. These devices all connect to the system via an MSTP local area network, LAN. MSTP stands for Master Slave Token Passing. A new Alerton device at this level is the VAVIH SD, a variable air volume controller with an integrated actuator. We'll talk more about this special type of network later. Integration level. The integration level is where global controllers and building controllers reside. These devices all connect to the system via Ethernet and act as backnet routers, routing messages between Ethernet and their hosted MSTP LAN. You'll learn more about these controllers soon. Management level. The Envision for BACtalk workstations, server and clients, and the WEBtalk iPort are at the management level. The Envision for BACtalk workstations provide user access to all connected devices using dynamic graphic displays. The Envision server, the primary workstation, maintains and archives databases on all system devices, alarms, trend logs, schedules, DDC files, energy logs, and user security profiles. The WEBtalk iPort is a web-enabled appliance that serves up web pages of the Envision server graphics. Via the iPort, users can view and edit schedules, view trend logs, and view and acknowledge alarms from any web browser using the same security profiles of the Envision server. Next, we'll look close up at the Alerton devices associated with each level. At the sensor actuator level are the Microset and Microset 2, communicating wall sensors that connect to any VLC except the smoke control controllers. The Microtouch combines a temperature sensor, set point adjustment, and an after-hours override push button. At the field controller level, you find several kinds of devices, beginning with the Alerton VisualLogic Controllers. The VLCs are field-level devices that connect to an MSTP network hosted by a global controller. More about global controllers soon. VLCs are fully programmable using Alerton's VisualLogic development tool for direct digital control, or DDC. VLCs can be broken up into two groups: variable air volume, or VAV controllers, and application controllers. The VAV controllers have one or two onboard airflow sensors. All VAV controllers have 4 inputs and 5 binary outputs. Some VAV models come with additional inputs or outputs. All of the VLCs have universal inputs. Most have binary outputs, and some have analog outputs. The model name of a VLC indicates the number of universal inputs, binary outputs, and analog outputs in that order. For example, the VLC 550 has 5 universal inputs, 5 binary outputs, and no analog outputs. The VLC 1188 has 11 universal inputs, 8 binary outputs, and 8 analog outputs. So you can tell a lot about a VLC from its model number. The VAV-IH-SD, introduced in 2008, is a VisualLogic controller with an integrated actuator, which means that this field controller level device also operates at the sensor actuator level. Alerton manufactures the MSTP LAN Repeater. The MSTP LAN Repeater physically connects 2 or more BACnet MSTP local area network segments, extending the maximum length and increasing options for designing the network. The repeater can connect up to 4 LAN segments. At the integration level are the BACtalk control modules. Various models can support Ethernet, MSTP, modem, and gateway connections to non-BACnet devices. They host or manage Alerton VLCs and run DDC applications to execute a facility control strategy. You can combine BACtalk control modules, or BCMs, in various combinations for maximum flexibility to meet the various needs of each job. A group of BCMs physically connected, as in the photo, is called a BCM array. Counting the required power supply module, you can connect up to 8 BCMs in an array. Your primary resource for installing and operating BCMs is the BACtalk Control Modules Installation and Operations Guide. Part number LTBT-TM BCM IOG. The power supply, BCM PWS, is the base model for a BCM array. It conditions power for up to 7 BCM modules. When the BCM PWS loses operating power, it reverts to a backup battery capacitor circuit, which provides interim power to the connected BCMs so they can conduct an orderly shutdown. The BCM MDM modem provides dial-out and dial-in capacity for BACtalk systems, supporting remote operator workstation connections or alarm dial-out to analog phone and the public switch telephone network, PSTN. The BCM MDM can be configured for international operation. The BCM ETH and BCM MSTP are global controllers. They execute global control strategies with their locally connected field controller level devices. The BCM ETH and the BCM MSTP can route BACnet messages between Ethernet and MSTP networks, host automation features such as schedules, trend logs, alarms, optimum start, zones, demand limiting, and tenant activity for connected BACnet devices. Run DDC sequences for connected BACnet devices. The BCM ETH is the single primary Ethernet network connection for its respective BCM array. It is responsible for routing messages between the array to the network. The BCM MDBS Modbus is a BACnet compliant gateway to a Modbus network. Modbus is a serial communications protocol used for process control with industrial programmable logic controllers. The BMC MDBS is a fully programmable network controller that hosts its own schedules, trend logs, alarms, and DDC. The BCM Tux is a gateway between the BACtalk network and the legacy Alerton IBEX system. The BCM Tux enables a BACnet system to read and write Tux points data, as well as read Tux alarms from Tuxes on an IBEX Tux trunk. The BCM Tux can host automation features such as schedules, trend logs, alarms, optimum start, demand limiting, and tenant activity for connected BACnet devices. It can also run DDC sequences for connected BACnet devices. The BCM Hotel is a BACnet-compliant gateway to a hotel reservation and check-in system using a serial communications line. The BCM Hotel allows individual control of up to 10,000 rooms. The BCM FPCS is an Alerton gateway device that enables data sharing between the Alerton BACtalk system and Siemens floor level network, FLN, devices on a PI protocol network. The BCM FPCS enables your BACnet system to read and write point data on a Siemens PI network trunk, as well as to read PI network alarms. The BCM FPCS can serve as a gateway between Siemens PI protocol network devices and Alerton's Envision for BACtalk software and BACnet system. Host automation features such as schedules, trend logs, alarms, optimum start, zones, demand limiting, and tenant activity. Run DDC sequences for connected devices. The VLX Building Controller is an expandable, standalone field-level controller that supports integration-level global controller functions. This means it is part of the field control level, but that it also has some functions of a global controller. It hosts schedules, trend logs, alarms, zones, optimum start, tenant activity, and demand limiting. It runs direct digital control, DDC, logic sequences for connected EXPs and connected BACnet MSTP devices. The VLX is also a BACnet router, supporting a maximum of 10 MSTP field-level devices and up to 8 extension modules. Alerton EXP modules connect to the VLX Building Controller. They are the extension, input and output modules for the VLX. Several different models allow a variety of connections with a maximum of 176 I/O points. The Alerton BTI is a programmable network controller and a multi-port BACnet compliant router. The Alerton BTI 100 is a router and global controller. Use the BTI 100 to route BACnet messages between BACnet MSTP and Ethernet networks and function as a BACnet point-to-point half router. The BTI supports one of each BACnet network type, Ethernet, MSTP, and a point-to-point, EIA-232, and to host inbound and outbound modem connections. Both the BTI and BTI 100 execute global control strategies with their locally connected field controller level devices. BACtalk FST100 MSTP Field Service Tool is designed to improve the efficiency of field service technicians by reducing the time it takes to connect to a BACtalk system and perform configuration and troubleshooting tasks. The FST100 routes BACnet messages between MSTP, Ethernet, and EIA-232 PTP ports. This multi-port BACnet-compliant router, in conjunction with BACtalk operator terminal software, enables users to directly monitor and control BACtalk system operations, data points, with or without an installed global controller. Envision for BACtalk is a powerful, easy-to-use graphical workstation software program that allows users to view, monitor, and control all levels of a building management system. Envision for BACtalk gives customers complete control to manage individual or multiple sites throughout the world. Alerton's WEBtalk is based on Alerton's BACtalk system. WEBtalk automatically reads Building Automation System, BAS data, from BACtalk and translate the data to familiar web pages. Authorized users simply log in using a web browser to gain access to system data. At the heart of WEBtalk is the WEBtalk iPort, a network appliance that translates building automation data to web pages. The iPort is based on server-class hardware and is designed to run indefinitely without scheduled maintenance. WEBtalk offers up real-time data on graphical, intuitive web pages and only allows access to those with appropriate security privileges. Site engineers and others can now use a standard web browser to monitor and control critical building automation data with unmatched ease. In this module, you have learned how to identify the 4 levels of an Alerton BACtalk control system. The management level for monitoring and control via the Envision for BACtalk workstation and the WEBtalk server. The integration level containing global controllers. The field control level where you find Alerton VisualLogic Controllers such as the VAVs and VLCs, which connect to input and output devices. The sensor actuator level with communicating wall sensors and other input or control connections. And you can identify the level at which a specific Alerton model works. Alerton VisualLogic Controllers control sensors and actuators for HVAC equipment such as air handling units, terminal units, VAV boxes, heat pumps, and air conditioning units. Alerton Global Controllers run DDC applications and host schedules, alarms, trend logs, and zones. This concludes our introduction to the hardware and software of Alerton control devices. If you're taking this course in its entirety,